Hi, Global Class. How are you guys today? I'm feeling better every day, so hopefully getting closer to coming back. Today we're going to do socialism and capitalism. You can see on our agenda today. We're going to talk about what socialism is, what communism is, and I'm going to give you a brief overview. And then you have your assignment that you worked on yesterday that you're going to continue working on. But today, as I say down here, I think today you want to tackle the socialism and communism portions as I've gone over it. If you don't get through all of it today, it's not the end of the world. It's due Thursday, so you use your time. Tomorrow, guys, we're going to do a quiz review and a quiz prep. And then I have a couple other small loose ends for the unit that have kind of slipped through the cracks, a couple things I want to throw at you that I'll give you today. And then Thursday, you're going to have that quiz, okay? Be checking out that pre-quiz that is posted on Google Classroom. That's going to be the core of your exam. And I'll give you the rest of it tomorrow. You should have plenty of time. It's going to be open notebook. So I'm even going to tell you, if you want to write down the answers to the questions and have them there next to you, you can kind of fill it in. It's truly I don't want to give it the word quiz. I'm going to call it a quiz, but it's truly like a homework or a classwork assignment where you're going to kind of plug things in. I just want to get these questions in front of you. I think it's important. Okay. Here we go. Let's do it. Let's get to notes. Guys, with capitalism, remember, we're talking about a spectrum. A spectrum. And on one end, so you're on a spectrum, it's like a color spectrum. All right, I'm drawing something here. I should have had this prepped. I apologize. But such is life these days for Mr. Maloney. It's wild, guys, but we're getting there. Sorry. So here you go. You guys, I miss having a whiteboard. But what you have here, guys, this is pretty crummy, but you're getting the idea, I hope, is that to one extreme, you're going to have communism and socialism. And then on the other extreme, you have laissez-faire. All right, so the extremes are laissez-faire and communism. Towards the middle are socialism and capitalism. Okay? Yesterday we did capitalism and laissez-faire. Remember, the big part of laissez-faire is the government is lazy. The government doesn't get involved. So if the boss is being very mean to his workers, too bad. No laws. A laissez-faire person would say, quit your job. Or they would say to the consumer, don't shop there if it makes you mad the boss is mean. Or if you notice a local factory is leaking poisons into the Charles River, a laissez-faire person would say, hey, too bad. If you care, don't buy that factory's business. So they'll go out. Don't buy their products so they go out of business. And if you work there, sorry, you shouldn't work there. Go get a new job. That'll drive that person out of business. But remember, the big thing with laissez-faire and why, frankly, it doesn't work everywhere is because it implies that there's a choice. And the example I gave you was Honeydew versus Dunkin' Donuts. If your town only has Dunkin' Donuts in it, you don't have another choice. So if Dunkin' Donuts either tastes bad or you think the boss is mean or you don't think they do things right to their employees, you don't really have much of a choice if you want a coffee and donut. You have to go to Dunkin' Donuts. So again, it implies choice. Capitalism, so true capitalism, does imply some rules. By the way, I love you. My wife's leaving for work, guys. I'm just saying bye to her. But capitalism is an economic system is with the goal is making a profit, okay? Capitalists feel that government interference hurts the economy. Now, again, it's a spectrum, so some capitalists are okay with some big things, like pollution, some workers' rights. But they feel like every time the government, and there's some truth to this, every time the government creates a law, it just only increases the price of the product, or it increases the amount of money being spent somewhere along the line, okay? Because if a law says you need to protect your workers from a fire in the building, then the boss is going to have to pay for fire extinguishers. They're going to have to pay for fire escapes. They're going to have to pay for sprinklers. So as they're paying for all that stuff, guys, it probably means that the employee is going to get paid less, and it probably means the price of their product is going to go up, okay? Here we go, socialism. Socialism, the opposite of capitalism. All right? Social is the word you hear here. Socialism is about doing what's best for society. And then when you get to communism, which is extreme socialism, all right, it's about what's doing best first for the individual, which then makes it better for everyone. And we'll get to communism in a second. But socialism is about what's doing best for society. You need to understand a sort of vocab word called factors of production. Right now, if you were writing these notes out with a pencil, that's a factor of production. The desk you're writing your notes on are a factor of production. This computer that you're watching this lecture on is a factor of production. The car your parents own is a factor of production. The bus you may have taken to school today is a factor of production. What it is, it's all the stuff you need to make stuff. Okay? So if I'm asking you to do your homework, well, Mr. Maloney, I need electricity to run my computer. I need a computer. I need a chair to sit on. It's really cold in my house. I'm going to turn on the heat. You know, like those are all factors of production. There's like millions of things that are factors of production. Under socialism, guys, all of those things, the idea being they're owned by the government and the people as a collective group, and they should be used for the good of everyone. Sharing. Socialism is a lot of sharing, okay? It's the idea we're going to pool together what everyone has, and we're going to divvy it up. So if I get 2 large pizzas for class, I'm not going to give 12 slices to my favorite student and 3 to everyone else. You're all going to get 1. Because that would be fair. That's equal. That's sharing out. Okay? Also with socialism, the idea too, like, well, if you already had lunch when I brought this pizza in, it'd probably be nice if you didn't eat the pizza and you let other people have the pizza who didn't have lunch beforehand, to share out the extras. All right? So again, the big laissez-faire, think lazy. Socialism, think sharing. All right? The idea of everyone coming together to pool it. All right? And again, I haven't said this yet, but this is like warmy and fuzzy and it feels good, but we're going to get into some of its weaknesses, and you're definitely going to get into some of the weaknesses today when you do your pros and cons, but there are weaknesses. Socialists believe that government should plan the economy. The government should tell, even like a true socialist would say that the government's going to tell factories what they should make. The government's going to say, hey, we're running out of t-shirts. We need to make more t-shirts. Oh, we got plenty of cars. Stop making cars for a second, but let's make lawnmowers. We need to make lawnmowers. So the government controls every aspect of the economy in true socialism, all right? Our country, as you're going to get into tomorrow and a little bit today with your pros and cons, does like a little bit of socialism and a little bit of capitalism, all right? Things like healthcare, Medicare, all right? Things like Social Security, that's retirement when you're older. Welfare, if you can't afford to pay to feed your family, the government's going to give you some money, all right? But we also have our capitalist aspects as well, where not everyone isn't sharing everything. Like Mr. Maloney, what I get paid comes to Mr. Maloney. I pay taxes, all right? And under socialism, taxes usually rise because there's the idea of sharing it all together. So if you're going to pay more taxes, I'm giving more money out to the people that then in theory should be shared out to everyone, all right? And some of you are already thinking, that might not be fair. What if Mr. Maloney works really hard to get this job and he works really hard for his salary? Why should I give my salary or my factors of production? Why should I give those out to people who aren't? That's values. That's the world. That's why this is such a tough word. That's why it's such a tough thing to decide. That's hard. That is hard. As much as I'm a nice guy, frankly, I got 2 kids I got to take care of. I want my money. All right? And it's hard for true socialism, which would be communism, which is our next thing, and that would be like everything being shared together. Socialists think that in the end, it will eliminate poverty and it will promote equality. A socialist will also acknowledge that you won't have very rich people. You won't, all right? You won't have wealthy people because there's going to be equality, all right? So that's socialism. Now, let me get to the extreme version of socialism, which is communism. And the first thing I want to let you know is that no country on earth has ever done communism. Later on this year, we're going to study Russia when it becomes the Soviet Union. They're really the first country to try communism. They don't do it. China right now will tell you that they're communist. No, they aren't. And you're going to know that when I'm done with the definition. All right? No one is communist, guys, on earth. Cuba's not communist. All right? These places that claim to be communist are not, because under true communism, guess what? There is no leader. Everyone's just equal. Does China have a president? Yes. Does the Soviet Union have a leaders during their reign? Yes. All right? Does Cuba have a leader? Yes. Okay? So nowhere on earth is true communism being done. Keep that in mind. Communism, and I like this word, is a radical type of socialism. Ready? This is a big difference. Workers own the means of production under communism. Look up here in socialism. The public and the government. That's a big difference. Communism was created by 2 guys. One of them, Karl Marx, who has one of the best beards in history, like a boss beard. Google him. He was in the video you guys did, so you probably saw his awesome beard. And Friedrich Engels. Ready? Here's the deal with these two guys. They were alive when the Industrial Revolution was just getting rolling in Europe. When a lot of bad stuff was happening. They saw child labor. They saw no workers' rights. They saw pollution. They saw people being mistreated before all the laws were written, right? So Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, they weren't idiots. They kind of looked around, right? And this was their idea. They were like, hey, are there more poor people or rich people? Class. Sadly, there's more poor people, right? So this is their revolutionary idea. They figured, what if all the poor people get together, revolt against the rich people, kill them, take their stuff, and share everything? That's communism. Okay? So has that happened anywhere on Earth? No, it has not yet. Okay? So here it is. There are more workers than factory owners. So if the workers wanted to rebel, they should easily win. The workers would then take over the government, and soon a classless society would exist. All right? I want to get into two cons right off the bat. And maybe think, pause the video and think, what is bad about a society where everyone is sharing everything? Because it sounds warm and fuzzy, right? Like I got a 3-year-old right now I'm trying to teach how to share with his 2-year-old brother. It's warm and fuzzy. Equality is great. Everyone being equal is a good thing. But anyone think of two major cons of communism? Here we go. Ready? Here's a big one. Where is the motivation? Like, why do people do stuff, guys? There's two reasons. To help others and to make money, frankly. Okay? There's two. And I have a job where I help others and I make money at the same time. So this is awesome. Awesome. I love this. But one of the major motivations for employment is to get paid. So if everyone's going to be equal, is everyone going to work hard? The example I'll use for you is when we get back to taking tests, hopefully in like the spring, like real tests that count a lot. What if I said the class average is the grade that everyone would get? That's communism. So the kid who doesn't study is going to get the same grade as the kid who studies. Is that fair? Would it lead to more equality? Yeah, but where's the motivation? Some people will still be motivated in a communist society, just like on this test. Some people want to do well. So even though the grade is going to be shared, they still want to get 100. That's who they are. But not everyone's like that. So one of the major problems with the communist society is that it does lead to some poverty because there's a lack of motivation. Okay? So there's no motivation. There's no like inspiration, or there's less inspiration. And then frankly, in the end, if no one is in charge, how do things get done? This is why no place on earth has had true communism. Like China's telling you they're communist. No, they're socialist. Like full on in a lot of ways. But they also have some capitalist wrinkles. Don't worry, we're going to study China in like March. We're going to dive into modern China big time. But if no one is in charge, how do you get things done? Because under true communists, just the workers would share everything. The idea being like everyone would look out for each other. The people who like to mow lawns would mow lawns. The people who like to teach would teach. The people who like to work in factories would work in factories. But the other part of that communism, though, is like in a lot of this, in a true communist society, if Mr. Maloney wasn't good at teaching, they wouldn't let me teach. They'd be like, you're going to do something else that you're good at. Or another aspect of communism that some people believe is you wouldn't have a choice. So it would kind of be like Hunger Games type stuff. And are you guys familiar with the books or the movie? Where like Natick would just be told, hey, you're all going to be potato farmers. Like, we don't really care if you want to be potato farmers, Natick, but America needs potatoes. Your soil's good for growing potatoes. And that's what your job is. That's your job under communism. All right? That everyone's going to be equal. We're all going to make potatoes. And then other parts of the country are going to make their things. And it'll all come together and we'll share it out. Kind of implies that people are going to be nice to each other and people are going to look out to each other. So last thing on this, I think, this is just Mr. Maloney's opinion, I think communism could work on a very small scale. If like you and like your 10 best friends went to an island, I bet communism could work. No one really being in charge. You're delegated. No one's delegating responsibility. Everyone's just motivated, self-motivated, because you want to work with your friends. You want to make sure your society's great for your friends. But when you're talking about a country with millions or hundreds of millions or billions with a B people, communism, I just don't know if it's ever, this is again, Mr. Maloney's opinion, and you're going to get some of this in the videos and in the articles, but I don't know how well that would work because guess what? You guys know Someone always wants to be in charge. And frankly, sometimes you need someone in charge. What if in our communist society, no one wanted to be a firefighter? You need firefighters, okay? All right, I'm ranting. You can tell my energy's getting back. I'm feeling good. This video's gone on long enough. So next, guys, what you're going to do is you're just going to dive right back into your capitalism and communism. Let me address that in a sec. Your capital and communism, pros and cons. I hope yesterday you did what is so good about capitalism, and you provided me with your links. And then I hope you told me what was the best or, not and. If you want to give me both, you can, but I just want one of the things. Today, let's do this. Let's do socialism. And let's start communism. Today, you'll have a little more, tomorrow, you'll have a little more time for communism in addition to the review packet, not packet, but some review questions I'm going to give you that relate to the quiz we're going to have, the open notes quiz. All right. I'm so sorry I screwed up the reflection thing here, guys. I'll admit, if you didn't get to it, could you just do number 2? Number 2 is big for what we're doing, okay? I apologize. Even guys make mistakes with the shared thing. That's for something where if I'm in class, you guys just raise your hand and I do it instantly. Sadly, I didn't see the emails until like 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon. And I was like, oh, God. I don't know. That's it. Tomorrow we'll quiz Thursday, and then Friday we're going to watch like a movie in class that relates to all this stuff, but we're kind of relaxed a little bit on Friday. Not going to be too strenuous on Friday as we head into the weekend. I don't want the quiz on Friday because I feel like probably a lot of your classes are quizzing on Friday. If you have a lot of quizzes on Thursday, reach out to me. All right, reach out to me. Let me know. Put it in the subject. I have a conflict for the quiz. Please put that in the subject so I know I get to it because I'm not tackling all my emails still right now with my energy level. But if you have something else on Thursday or you have a lot going on Thursday, you could take the quiz on Friday. We could do something like that, and you could do the other thing on Thursday. But please reach out to me. Don't tell me Thursday morning. Please let me know by tomorrow afternoon. All right, guys, I do miss you. I do miss being back in school. I hope things are well. I don't know. I'm hoping to get back soon, guys. All right, be well.